All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, reporting in for another Battle Force list build. This time, we're going to go over the Droid Invasion Force, or the Separatist Invasion Force, and kind of talk about just a simple list, kind of generic. We can kind of make it more generic if you wanted to, because I was going to add some Magna Guard in here, but the way that the Droid faction works can be summed up, in my opinion, how Rex summed up the Separatist Invasion Force in Star Wars Rebels. So in Star Wars Rebels, there's an episode where Rex, Kanan, and Ezra are, and Chopper, I think, are stuck on a little tiny planet, and there's some droids that are left over, and they challenge them to a match in a way. And Rex summed them up very much trying to explain how the droid force was, and he said that they are meant to overwhelm in numbers. So with that being said, I think that the Separatist invasion force, specifically the battle force, is going to be great for numbers, huge numbers. You're allowed to have 8 core, and you have to have a heavy, and you got to have a commander, obviously. You're kind of limited to your commanders between Dooku and Grievous, but those are the best commanders to have in a way, at least melee wise. So I think that these are really, really good choosable characters. It kind of just depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to kind of go over just maybe like 1 or 2 different ways to kind of use the generic stuff so we can get as many activations as we can, since you're very limited with the fact that you can only have Staff Riders or Droidicas and no spiders, obviously, kind of makes everything a little bit, tougher, and you're in this little predicament. So before we get started, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave a comment below with kind of like a Battle Force idea that you are happy with yourself, or maybe if you would use Count Dooku and General Grievous a lot more. I just think with Count Dooku that between his almost 200 points by himself and then having to include a heavy, you're not going to be able to get in as many activations as possible. And, you're better off, I feel like, using Dooku in a different way without the battle tank. But some people have a really good, list using the tank and Dooku and stuff like that. And I think even Grievous is also not bad for the fact that he's going to have 8 health, and then his command cards really do him some good justice here. But all right, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. If you haven't already, go ahead and head to theburnacademy.com and check this out. Sorry, guys. And, go ahead, sign up and subscribe now for 3, 4, 5, 6 day a week workout plans, coaching videos, example meal plans, being able to track everything and your progress. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead and try to head to the Discord channel that I've created, mostly about lists and list building and just kind of, talking everything over. And then it'll all be in the link below. So let's get straight into it. We got to have a battle tank, so we're going to go ahead and just go with that first. Now, honestly, the T-Series tactical droid would be fine because you lose AI. You don't, field commander doesn't really matter. It's just making sure that you pay 5 points to lose AI. Now, you could go with the OOM series droid, but I mean, it just kind of depends. That's just 2 more points. So I'm going to go with the series tactical droid. With the tank, he's already got barrage. So if you don't use arsenal, you can do 2 attacks with basically the 4 red, and that's not bad at all. I mean, it's kind of like a gunslinger in a way. But if you wanted to add some stuff to it, that way you could double up a little bit more. Well, not double up. If you wanted to do 3 more, you could. And so I think the high energy shells, not being able to allow them to use dodges, is insanely good against rebels or clones, anyone like that has to really rely on them, along with for some force users. Not being able to use deflect is so really, really good. Now we have to have a commander here, and if we're going to go with numbers, I would go with the T-Series tactical droid. The bolster 2 is really good, and the direct is really, really good. I wouldn't fall for the sharpshooter because you want to keep him alive just in case. And then, just for purposes, give him the comms relay. He doesn't have AI, so he doesn't really need to have an order. So if you were to give him an order, which a few cards do, then, you don't need it. We have to have some core, and we'll do that. But let's try to, use as a port. So if we look at the command cards real quick and the reason why. So Mechanized Incursion is really good at going to be good for vehicles because not only are you going to be able to give an order to the vehicle, but you're going to be able to give it out to another droid trooper, which you could probably give to, one of the core units. And then the AI coordination. So at each friendly unit that is issued an order using this card gains a standby. Now it's only going to be one, unit that's issued this order, and it's either the tank or, a support. With the tank, maybe either being in the back or maybe close to the middle, you're probably not going to have a lot of people trying to get close to it. So you're not going to be able to make use of that standby token. So in my opinion, if you want to do that for the battle force purposes, go with the Stap Riders. Okay. And let's just go with 3 of them. Okay. Let's just make it interesting. Make sure that we have 3, even though the order gives out, 1 command card, you're gonna be able to get that standby in with one of those Stap Riders. Okay. So we might as well go with that one. And then I would also probably go with Mechanized Incursion to give either the Staps the order or at least the AAT the order. Go through the entire droid line, leaving your Staps in your T series. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. Or if you were to, give the order from the tank to the T series droid, I mean, then only the Staff Riders won't have orders because all of the droids that you do have will all have orders at that point, including the tank. So let's see how many of these we can get. So we have 8 activations, 8 battle droids. We have 13 activations. So we still have a lot of time or a lot of points to do with what we want. So maybe aggressive tactics would be pretty good because now you're able to really give out those, 4 surge tokens to who you want, basically, because of the amount of orders that will always be given out. And you have enough for, something else. 8 more points could give you a bid. But this is a really, really simple list. You don't really get 13 activations in. And again, droids overwhelm drastically. I mean, to have 8 battle droids on the field, along with 3 Stap Riders, a tank, and then T-Series droid, I'm sure you're just overwhelming your opponent with so many activations. They probably don't know who to go after unless your battle droids just drop like flies super quick in a flame. So you're going to have to be careful with that. If we were to kind of go with a different invasion force, maybe use someone else, what I would do is maybe include a Magna Guard so that you do, just in case, have some sort of melee protection against some sort of force user. And then you could continue to go up with some support units. Again, let's go with at least 2 of these. Usually you'd go with 3 because that 3 is really going to be able to overwhelm a lot better. And even if you did, 5 activation or 5 core units, you still have 11 activations with the Magna Guard, the T-Series tactical droid giving out some surge tokens when they need to. And then you have the possibility to be able to put something else on either the Stap Riders, maybe on a few of them. You could put the comms jammers if they were going to get in close. Maybe you decided to actually just go ahead and go with armor piercing shells. So that way, every single time that the tank fires, you can take an aim and then shoot the high energy shells. And then the next turn, you can take an aim and then shoot the armor piercing shells with the normal 4. And so vice versa. You can just keep going. That's 11 activations, and you still have the Magna Guard. But maybe we'll try one more thing. Sorry, guys, for such a long video here, going over so many different lists. But there's so many different things to choose from between, I feel like, in this one. So go with the high energy shells, and then say that we wanted to go with Grievous, because again, Grievous can do a lot of good damage. I would probably go with the pistol, unless we really need to save points. I would go with Vigilance, and then I would also really go up close and personal. And that's kind of where I would go at least. If you wanted aggressive tactics, you could. We have to have a minimum of 4 battle droids, and we want to have one of them with an HQ uplink just in case, because we don't have another commander at the moment. So we'll get our 4, and then let's see what we can do with the Magna Guard to maintain as many possible, unit activations as we can. So we definitely, it depends. We've got an anti-armor vehicle right here. So you kind of have the armor for the most part taken care of. You might not need the Magna Guard, but I mean, what critical 1 impact 2 regardless, range 2 to 4, which is really good, and then a single rainbow. I mean, that's going to be able to put out some suppression and do a lot, behind cover as well. And there's no cumbersome or exhaust. So it's really, really, really good. If you're just trying to do as much damage and immobilize towards people coming at you, this one's probably going to be your best bet because you're going to have more in melee. And that's kind of how I would do, is keep them in cover for as long as you can. Maybe give them tenacity and situational awareness to make sure that they can cancel crits with those dodges they're going to get from retinue with Grievous. And then even from there, if we just spammed with more battle droids, you can get 11 activations in with General Grievous, the Magna Guard, and the tank with 19 points left to do with what you want. So if you wanted to kind of give out, the extra stuff to people, maybe give the battle droid on the HQ uplink to make sure it survives a little bit longer. Maybe give a Viper Recon droid, hopefully give out some observation tokens, maybe for Grievous and for the Magna Guard. And then you have 6 other ones. You with 9 more points left to do with what you want. Maybe you do another Vipercon droid, Recon droid, I should say. Or maybe you didn't want that. Maybe you take away both of those and you give yourself a medic, giving you 7 points left to do with what you want. Maybe keep the little extra droid on there. There you go. So boom, I like this one. 11 activations, again, overwhelming with, numbers. You have the Magna Guard who can go with Grievous. This is pretty much what you're going to be getting in the Battle Force box anyway. We don't have any, support units. So that 1 pip that you would have for the, standby token, you probably don't need. You probably would just rather go with Mechanized Incursion. I know it doesn't make sense. I mean, this isn't really the best for the Battle Force because of the fact that, I feel like these are not meant for, this is mostly meant for core. See, you've got core here, and then it was for either heavy or support. So that's why I think the first list with the generic, you had 13 activations. I honestly think that that's going to be the best one. I'll leave a link with that, in the, link below or in the description below, just in case anyone does want 13 activations to kind of do with what they want. I mean, I don't know what I would do with myself if I saw 13 activations on the other side of the board. Obviously, I would go with Supreme Commander, use those extra battle droids to your advantage. And then you do have the where you go? The 2 pip right here. After a friendly core unit performs a ranged attack, if it's spent 1 or more aim tokens to another friendly unit at range 1 to 2 can gain those. So that's probably what I would do. Pretty much leaving behind a lot of the Magna Guard. Now, because these orders, especially the orders for, let's see, because where's the other Grievous one? So if we look at this one, it's 2 troopers. So for the most part, you're always going to be able to give out orders to the core, especially with the battle force. So you might not need the HQ uplink on the battle droids. And you could probably save those. Maybe give the Magna Guard the HQ uplink just to be able to make sure they have an order. If not, you could just take that away. You've got more than enough points to be able to give yourself aggressive tactics in case you wanted to do that instead. And that way you give at least 4 surge tokens out every time. And again, since he is your commander and you're always giving out orders to lots of core, you don't have to worry about the battle tank with AI without AI. So boom, there you go. I'd probably go with Unstoppable Advance. You really want that one just to get in. Crush them would be really good. So when General Grievous issues an order to a unit, that unit gains a surge token for each defeated enemy unit. So yeah, if you've, used Grievous and or anyone else to go after them, that one would be pretty good. But honestly, I'd probably go with the 3 droid troopers because you could give it to the Magna Guard. You could definitely give it to your battle droids and then give either the dodge or an aim out. Instead, if you don't feel like, if you really need this one before that, you could do it. So just in case, you might as well go with Unrelenting. And then Supreme Commander would be good because it gives out the 2 troopers instead of just this, unless you feel like instead of Unrelenting Assault, which is giving those aims out to everyone, you could probably go with Orbital Strike and Supreme Commander, but I would just go with those. And then objectives, again, with 13 activations, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. But because you have the tank and a bunch of other stuff, key positions probably wouldn't be that bad. You've got hostage exchange, you've got plenty of those guys to maintain. It's just a problem. Actually, I probably wouldn't do hostage exchange because of the HP that they have. They're going to be mowed down pretty fast. Maybe sabotage motion evaporators would be pretty good. Recover the supplies wouldn't be that bad with, Grievous getting in there and the Magna Guards and stuff. Hopefully being able to get in because of unhindered right here and because of scale, you'll be able to get in without any hindrances, I should say. And then set the transmissions. General Grievous has a really good card. His 1 pip when everyone is kind of, close together. You can try to take out as many as possible while they're, really close with the transmissions. And like I said, recover the supplies wouldn't be that bad. Deployment, advanced positions, you mostly have trooper units except for that 1 tank. So advanced positions wouldn't be that bad. Battle lines wouldn't be that bad. Payload or rollout wouldn't be that bad. And then probably major offensive or the long march, but I think major offensive would probably be better for the fact that, your droids aren't shooting that far. And with Grievous and the Magna Guard, yeah. Let's see, clear conditions, definitely limited visibility for sure, because you don't have hard hitting weapons. And then fortified positions and supply drop wouldn't be that bad. Or minefield. Now, you've got so many just droids that just don't care. You might as well go with minefield in a way because it's probably going to hurt them more than it is going to hurt you. Now, if you don't want minefield, supply drop is also pretty good. But there you go. There is your General Grievous, your Magna Guard, 11 activations, your 8 battle droids, and your tank. Now, again, the 13 activation list, I'm also going to leave below, and I'll go ahead and fill out the cards as well. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And if you haven't already, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Head to thebirdacademy.com and subscribe now to get full access to everything. And then, again, go ahead and head to the Discord where you're going to be able to, talk lists and do everything with us there. Well, all right, guys. Catch you later, and may the force be with you.